Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be doing a much needed Q&A because it has been a hot second and there are a ton of new people on my channel and I feel like you guys don't really know that much about me. So a couple days ago, I decided to ask you guys for your juiciest Q&A questions and I picked 13 of them that I'm going to answer today. So the first question, I actually get this a lot, is some variation of what inspired you to start your channel, why'd you start your channel, etc, etc. And a lot of people don't know this, but I've actually been making YouTube videos since I was around 8 years old. I'm 17 now, for those of you who don't know. I originally started making lifestyle-ish videos, just different vlogs and crafts and things. And then I started making stop motion videos, and this channel actually used to be a stop motion channel. And I changed it to this one in March of 2020. And the reason I changed it was because on my lifestyle channel, I had started talking a lot about Taylor Swift, and I got the sense that my subscribers were not really caring and not really wanting to listen to me talk about Taylor all day. And I was like, hey, what if I just made a channel that's all about Taylor, and that's just all that it is? And so originally this was my side channel, and so I converted it from my stop motion channel to a Taylor Swift channel and called it All Too Swift, and the rest is history. Eventually this became my main channel and it grew and grew. I will never forget the day that I first got 1,000 subscribers because that had always been my goal growing up. I wanted 1,000 subscribers so badly, and so when I finally got it, it was amazing. And now I'm almost at 13,000, which is so crazy. So no one ever really inspired me to make my channel. I actually never seen a Taylor Swift channel before, and I was still very new to being a Swiftie and new to the fandom as a whole, and I didn't really have anyone to look up to. And now I have this whole Swiftie community, and so many of you guys have started Taylor Swift channels, and I know a fair bit of people have said that I've inspired them to start their channel, and that just means a lot to know that you guys are here because of me, because of just this fun random little idea that I had. I don't know, it's just really cool how we've all been able to come together. But yeah, long story short, to answer your question, no one inspired me. I just started this channel because people were getting tired of me talking about Taylor all day and I needed an outlet. The next question is, what do I think about Travis? I personally have never been super invested in Taylor's personal life. All that I care is that she's happy, and it seems like Travis is making her really happy, and so I'm happy for her and I'm happy for him. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've never been a big football fan. Even though I live in the South, I was raised in Chicago, and so football is like still a thing there, obviously, but it's not as big of a thing as it is in the South. So culturally, I just never really have been a big football person. I know how to play, obviously, and I play with my siblings sometimes, but I don't know. I just don't really see the point in rooting for a team that has no relation to you. I don't really know. But yeah, I'm happy for them and I'm happy that they seem like they're happy. The next question is one thing that I don't like about the Swiftie fandom. For the most part, everyone here is so sweet and so kind and so caring, but there are some people that tend to be a little bit toxic and they can get kind of possessive over Taylor and over their Swiftiness, I guess. And every once in a while you'll run into people online who think that they're like in charge of Taylor and they get to say what she does and dictate who she's with and the songs she releases and make all these judgments about things. I get obviously that we all have flaws and therefore Taylor has flaws, obviously, and there are certain things that I don't agree with, but at the same time, people don't always recognize the fact that they're not the boss of Taylor Swift and she doesn't exist to please every single person in the world. Whatever she does, someone is always going to be mad at it. And so I just don't like when people get angry at her or when they claim that they have the right to do certain things because they know certain unreleased songs and other people don't and they're more of a fan. I just think that people forget sometimes that this is all for fun and it's never that serious. We're literally just people that listen to Taylor Swift's music. That's it. It's never that serious. This is a juicy one. What do I think about people who used to not like Taylor Swift now becoming Swifties? I have mixed thoughts on this one because personally, I didn't become a fan until Lover Era, which is kind of late, although it's not really late compared to a lot of people now that I think about it, because it has been 4 years. But I remember when I was first becoming a fan, and I just felt very left out because I hadn't been around for certain things, and I never disliked Taylor, but I wasn't a die-hard, like, hardcore Swiftie. So when I finally did become a hardcore Swiftie, there were a lot of people telling me that I wasn't valid and that since I hadn't been there from the beginning, I had no right to claim that I liked Taylor that much and everything. On the one hand, it's definitely possible to become a fan of someone at a later stage, but at the same time, it also does kind of irritate me when there are people who explicitly have said that they don't care about Taylor or that they dislike her, and then now they're claiming to be the biggest Swifties ever and saying that they've always been fans and they've just loved her so much when that's not true. But I think that as long as you acknowledge the fact that you haven't been there since the beginning, and if you did dislike her, that you acknowledge the fact that you used to dislike her and you acknowledge the fact that you were wrong, I don't think that there's anything wrong with becoming a fan. But what I don't like is when people pretend to be fans just because it's cool and they jump on the bandwagon and they're like, oh yeah, well, I want to go to the Taylor Swift tour, yeah, that would be cool. It just, I don't know, it kind of rubs me the wrong way because it makes it feel like you're not sincere in your Swiftiness, if that makes sense. But I feel like as long as you truly feel that you are sincere in your Swiftiness, there's nothing wrong with considering yourself a fan. This one is kind of cool. What do I usually look for in a song, lyrics or melody? So personally, I always am drawn to the lyrics of songs because I'm a writer. I actually wrote a book, fun fact, but words have just always been my thing, and so lyricism and poetry have just always stuck out to me, and I think that's part of why I enjoy Taylor's music so much, is because so much of it is based around the writing and the poetry and the lyricism of it all. So I definitely always look for lyrics. What is my favorite season? This is actually really hard because I love all the seasons, really. I don't really dislike a season because I love them all for different reasons. I will say though that I hate when it gets dark early, and so I think for that reason alone, summer is my favorite because it's light out for so long. And I'm a complete night owl, and so to be able to be outside until almost 10 o'clock at night and have it be light outside, that's like my favorite thing in the whole entire world. Celebrity crush? Taylor Swift. I get this question a lot, and I actually don't really have that good of an answer for it, I guess. But the question is, what inspired you to first start writing? I honestly don't know. I've always loved reading from as long as I can remember. I started reading when I was like 4, and I basically have not stopped since. I've always been that one kid that begs to go to the library and comes back with an armful of books and then reads through them all in like a couple days and begs to go back. But yeah, to kind of answer the question more, nothing really inspired me to start writing. I've kind of just always loved reading, and as a result, writing was just a natural progression from reading. And I think honestly the reason why my writing sounds so professional is because I've read so much and I just emulate what I've read, and my brain is just trained to know how a book should sound, and so whenever I write, it just sounds like everything that my brain's ever read. Okay, so this one wants to know my opinion on the song Me, and this is a very unpopular opinion, but I freaking love that song with my entire heart. It is so special to me because that is the song that made me a Swiftie. It propelled me into this rabbit hole of Swiftiness, if you will, and this song is the reason that I am here today in front of you all. It is so special to me, and I could go on and on about it. I think it is definitely overhated because so many people hate on it, and it's just supposed to be fun. She had so much fun writing it, and so many people hate on it for no reason. Well, I guess not no reason, because I can see why they don't like it, because it's not the deepest writing she's ever done, obviously, but it's so fun, and I love the music video so much, and it just always makes me so happy. It makes me feel so nostalgic, because it just reminds me of joining this amazing fandom, and Taylor, and everything, and yeah, I just love it so much. How old was I when I first heard Taylor? This is a really hard question because I was born about 6 months before she released her debut album, and as a result, Taylor has always kind of just been intermittently in my life. I've always just been surrounded by her music on the radio, especially because I live in the United States, and Taylor's pretty much always been relatively mainstream, so I've just kind of always heard her music. But Probably something during Fearless era, if I had to guess, would be when I first heard it, either Love Story or You Belong With Me, which would have meant that I was around 2 or 3. So for my favorite book or an author that inspires me, that's such a hard question to pick my favorite book because there are so many different books that I love so much. I guess there's 2 really. So my favorite author of all time is John Green. He wrote The Fault in Our Stars, An Abundance of Catherines, Paper Towns, Turtles All the Way Down, all those books. I love him so much. I just love him as a person and I love his books, and I don't know, I just love his writing so much. But another author, I guess mainly the one that inspires me, is Benedict Jacka. He's actually kind of a lesser known author, but he wrote the Alex Verus series, and it's about this guy named Alex, and he's a mage and he has these magic powers. Basically, his powers are concentrated around seeing the future, but in his universe, there's a bunch of different types of magic that you can have. But there's a bunch of books in the series, and they're so good, and I love them so much. My dad and I, actually, they're kind of like our series that we read together. That's just our little thing. But a fun fact is, when I was writing my book, The Fire of London, I actually sent an excerpt of it to the author, Benedict Jacka, and he replied and he told me that he had read some of it, and he gave me a bunch of critiques and just different tips and things to try, and I will forever be grateful to him because that's so cool that he actually like read part of my book. And so yeah, I haven't talked to him since, but he's read my book and he's out there in the world, which is so cool. But yeah, so that really inspires me, just to know that there's an author out there who's like a real established author and he has like a best-selling book series and he's read my writing and he thinks that my writing's good. Like, I don't even know what more you could ask for in life. Next question is, what is my dream career? I'm sure most of you guys can probably guess this, but my ultimate dream career would be to be an author and to be able to just have that be what I do. Obviously, I'm much more realistic than that, and so while I am going to be majoring in English, I'm also going to be minoring in something more realistic like marketing or advertising so that I can get a real job, just so that I can make things work. If the stars align, my absolute dream career would be to be a New York Times bestselling author. Okay, and then the last question for today is, what would Taylor have to do for you to no longer be a fan? This is, I guess a valid question because a lot of people have stopped being fans of Taylor or said they're going to stop being fans of Taylor because of certain things that she has done. But personally, Taylor's views pretty much align with my own, but at the same time, I'm also able to separate the artist from the art. And I don't know, I don't really think that there's anything that she could do that would make me stop being a fan. I know a lot of people complained when Karma came out about the religious kind of undertones, and with the Willow performance on the Eras tour as well, people were like, this is kind of satanic. But personally, I respect everyone's beliefs and everyone's opinions, but as someone who does not choose to adhere to religion, I am not affected by those. And as a result, I don't think it's problematic at all that she chooses to do those things. Taylor is her own person and she's perfectly entitled to do her own things. And I don't think it means that she sold her soul to the devil just because she's pretending to be a witch on stage. I think that's kind of a ridiculous accusation to make. Granted, I don't believe in the devil, but at the same time, I don't think that that's logical. Anyway, in summary, I don't think Taylor would ever really do anything to stop making me be a fan, unless she were to do something really horrible, like kill a bunch of people. But at the same time, I'd probably still listen to her music, but just not look up to her as a person. But because of the kind of person that she is, and at least the person that I believe her to be, I don't think that she'd ever do anything that would cause me to stop being a fan. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about me. If you have more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below because I would love to do a part 2. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!